Great morning, great morning. It's your girl, the Melanated Minimalist, coming to you with another inspiring word for you. I've been reading my comments. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate every last one of you guys. And I want to, if you like this content I'm doing, go ahead and share it. Subscribe if you can. But I'm going on the thing on minimalism and living a certain life. So a couple people have asked me of how to downsize, how to, quietly quit, all these things. So I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of all right now in the next 10 minutes. So one of the things that I've been hearing about is how do you do it? Now I'm not sharing with you guys to quit your job just off cuff. You gotta prepare a little bit. And I always say this, whatever job you take, learn something from it, get a skill set going. And while you're working, develop another skill set. That's one of the big things I want you to really encourage yourself. Find something you can do even while you're working. If you need life insurance, health insurance, whatever, don't just quit, okay? Downsizing. In order to do this, you're gonna have to really, really, really look at what you really gotta have and what's just extra or optional. And you can divide your items into several categories. You can divide your items into must-have, don't really have to have, and go from there, right? But at some point, you got to make decisions. And that's another thing that I want to talk about us in society. A lot of people don't like to make decisions. A lot of people like to hold on, procrastinate. Sometimes they're in not good relationships because they're doing that, they're not making a decision. What they say, an indecision is a decision. I guess that's true. An indecision is a decision. Maybe so. So I wanted to share with you some points of the quiet quitting video, silently quitting, whatever you want to call it, just doing bare minimum, whatever. Everything you do needs to be intentional from now on, especially if you're over 30. Especially if you're over 30. You got to be intentional. You just can't just live life haphazardly. Heck, even the van lifers at some point getting tired of that van, they're ready to go buy them a house. They made a certain amount of money and then they're ready to go buy them a house. Are you mad at them? No, they're smart. They knew what it would take to get to that van life. Me as a minimalist, eventually I'm going to want to have, nice things. I do have nice things, but even more. Even down to a relationship. I want to have a solid relationship. I want to be in a, whereas, me and that person are building together, right? But if I don't work on myself first, it's no way I should want that or desire. I can desire it, but I don't have to have it right then and there, okay? So one of the things y'all talk about, y'all ask me about, quietly quitting, all those things. First, work on you. Making sure you're healthy. Making sure you know what you want. Do you want to live where you want to work from home, wearing yoga pants all day? Do you want to be able to travel more? Do you want to be able to live in a certain neighborhood? Being a minimalist doesn't mean you got to live trifling. You don't have to live in these little cuts where you're like, I'm just going to have a small amount of things, but I'm also going to live in a not so or a sketchy area. Don't do that. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're in a sketchy area or that you are barely making it. What I want you to really, really concentrate, and I'm going to say this again over and over again. Get a skill set. Get several that you can learn, that you can use, that you can grow with. And use them to your advantage. So when you don't want to work that job that you're working now, you got several streams that can come by your knowledge, your IP, your intellectual property, the gift of the mind that God gave you. And definitely not settling for just anything or anybody. You got to get very intentional. Map out, look, if you got notes inside your phone, the little notes, I know I have an iPhone, I don't know about Android, but if you got notes inside your phone, go ahead and write down some things you want to do, things you want to have, and it could be something over the top. Like my goal one day is to go to Bali, to Africa, right? Some people have already done it. Amen, great. If you already done it, amen, you've done it. But if you have never done it and you want to do it, write it down. My goal is to get an RV and rent it and go camping with my grandson in different parts of the states while we're on spring break. Summer break, right? Going to some various beaches of the world, going to aquariums. Those are intentional things. So I have to go and definitely look what I want to do. Even down to a relationship. What are some of your non-negotiables? Do you like being with somebody who wants to stay at home all the time? Or do you enjoy people who like to get out and move around and be about something? The choice is yours. And that was what I wanted to share with you. The minimalist lifestyle, that's intentional thinking. What can I do to have a simpler life? So that's planning. So that's going to take some time. You can't be all willy-nilly with it. You know, I am an artist, creator, meaning that I create content. And some people might say, oh, well, I know one comment was that you word for word Tim Ward. No, Tim Ward I'm inspired by Tim Ward. But Tim Ward is not me, meaning he's a black male. I'm a black female. He has never been married, no children. I've been married and have 2 and a grandchild. He has never worked where I work. He's never lived where I live. So no, I'm not going content word for word. I don't worry about that because we all are inspired by something. Tim Ward was inspired by somebody. Kelly Stamps, who I actually love watching, she's funny. She's inspired by somebody. Stephanie Perry, inspired by somebody. Broken Wallet, Erica Stewart. There's so many people. Was it Glenn McClendon? All these people were inspired by something. Don't think that just because you make a video that no one's going to go and look at it and say, hey, that's going to inspire me to talk about it. It's called reaction videos, people. If you're not a content creator, you definitely wouldn't understand what that would mean. So anything that I'm watching, it's like a television show. If I tell you I watch a show, a Netflix, and I say, oh girl, y'all gotta watch Netflix. Guess what's happening? You're gonna go and binge watch everything because I told you. Like Bridgerton, when that came out, I went and binge watched it. I don't even do Netflix like that. But I knew the power of word of mouth. So be careful when you're saying someone word for word. No, word for word means I literally took his video and put it over top of my mouth and said everything he said. That's not true. I did find points and I did change some stuff that I felt was for me. Cool. So we're going back to the tips and tricks of living the way you want, being intentional, writing down what you desire, down from how you want to eat. If you want to eat oodles, was that ramen noodles? Oodles of noodles, canned meat, Chef Boyardee, all that stuff in the can. That's up to you. I don't want to eat that way. So I know I have to have a certain amount of money. Now, what I can do is learn tricks and trades to go in and say, okay, I can make $500 extra money if I wrote an ebook, or $200 or $1,000 if I do DoorDash, or I do meal preps and I charge. Everything you do, again, is intentional. So before you quit, you can be quiet, you can go and work, but before you quit anything or whatever you're doing, have that opportunity that you mapped it out and thought about it before you do. Okay? Because we're not good at making decisions. We like talk about it. I know one person in my job right now, she hates doing what she do. Or at least she complains about it every freaking day. Every day. And I'm like, maybe that's not the job for you. Maybe it's not the best place for you. And then you sit there and you go, wow, this person don't really know what they want. They really don't know what they want or desire. They talk about all these things they don't like. But then when you say, hey, what do you want to do? I don't know. Okay, well, be quiet, come to work, and do your job. You get paid anyway. So regardless of whatever you're doing, you got to remember that you got to stay focused on just that one thing, not 50 things, because that's what happens to a lot of people. They're doing so many things. And I'm not saying you can't, because I think, trust me when I say this, you definitely are more than one. You might have versatile interests. What I'm saying is that one thing could be, I want to focus on YouTube. I don't want to be trying to do YouTube, TikTok, and all these other things. Maybe that's your thing, you know. Or you say, I want to write ebooks. You can't write ebooks, a chapter book, doing it. That might overwhelm you. So stick with that thing and then branch from there, okay? But yeah, people complaining, people don't want to live the life they like and want. That's sickening to be around a person like that. That's why I protect my energy. Now, I love People like Jesus loved the people. But Jesus also was very particular about who he hung around. His disciples got on his nerves at one point where he said, just let them sleep. You know what I mean? He had to rebuke them or share with them their weaknesses. And he was like, yo, I'm about my Father's business. About my Father's business. I mean, he ain't got time to play around. You got to be about you. Like I always tell, I'm doing the Lord's work. You are. If you're trying to be a better person and make the environment better, make the world better, you're doing the Lord's work. Now, I'm not here to crack down on you about your religion or anything. So please understand, I'm a woman of God, but I ain't trying to force you to be anything. Just listen to my words. Be about somebody's business and be intentional, okay? That's it for now. We'll talk more. This is your girl, the Melanated Minimalist, coming to you live from Temple. Go ahead and like, share, comment below what you thought about what I said about this video. Be intentional. Be intentional. Know what you want. Have a skill set. You can quietly quit. Stop complaining. Talk about it. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Bye, y'all.